part of me, of course, not going to lie, that sits there thinking 2 days later, and well, it's some show of appreciation. Like, all you can do is be yourself and do the best that you can to do that. And being myself is not being allowed to be good enough. And if I felt like it was a game-related thing, I would say kudos to you. Say it was the 7 of us. I know that doesn't really have much meaning to it, but let's just say it was at the end. And you guys turned to me and said, Eric, your days are numbered. We know that if you're here, you're going to be a threat to the end. You have good relationships with everyone. You're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Sayonara. See you later. No matter which one of the 6 of us wins, you're going out. I would have been mad for 5 minutes, and then I would have said, you're making a good choice. Kudos to you guys, and may the best man win. That's not what's happening this week. It's not a game thing.
But maybe not from other people, Eric, but as me putting you up, it is a game thing. And, honestly, I'm sorry that people are doing whatever they're doing to you, but for me, I told you, and you can take it for what it is, it's strategic from my point of view.
I have a question, though, and it's a serious question, and please, this is coming from me. It's not coming from anyone else. Did you think, with my standing in the house and my relationships that I have in the house, did you think that this is something that would strengthen your position with other people in the house or hurt your position with other people in the house? Because from my perspective, and of course my perspective could have been outrageously wrong, I didn't think it was the right time because I do feel like I do have strong relationships in the house, or did prior to being, besmirched by everyone in every way. And I never quite understood from an intellectual standpoint what it is that you were hoping to gain moving forward, because I thought you may have been making problems for yourself where they didn't previously exist.
And see, that's one side of looking at it. And I haven't, this whole week I've been up here by myself because once that happened, nobody would look at me. I felt like everybody hated me. Dustin's over here screaming at people. There's a line in the sand. It's you or the Donatos. It's not about picking sides. It's not about any of that, And people can perceive it as one thing and take it as the other thing, but it was just something that I was willing to do. You as the biggest threat in the game, for me, I'm HOH. Who knows? This could be the only time I'm HOH.
Yeah, but was I the biggest threat to you personally at this time? Or were Jen and Kale or anybody else for that matter, I wasn't coming for you, and you knew that.
But you didn't tell other people that.
I don't know where these things come into play. I don't know. It's impossible. You see, this is why I don't sift through the game things, because it's impossible to decipher. Because when you have a whole house of people who could be telling the truth, or a whole house of people who could be lying, and whose word ultimately is the final word on the matter.
Yeah, but Eric, I even you told me once it's down to the 7, Amber and Dustin, and Dustin's the first one out. You looked me in the eye in the spot, and you lied.
As I said at the time, I ran through the scenarios with everyone. And I ran through the scenarios with you, and that is a logical scenario with you. And I ran through the scenarios with them, and there were logical scenarios with them. And I didn't say yes, and I didn't say no. I said, yeah, this is clearly, if you're looking at it from a logical perspective, this is the way that things could shake down. Absolutely. I've never, that's not in dispute. But, being pinned for things that I never said or never did or never would do, I mean, truthfully, and if the answer is yes, it's yes. There's nothing I can say about it. Do you really think that I would attempt to do something to Amber for the purpose of ruining her personal life outside of this game?
Honestly, I don't know, because you did come to me and you said that to me as well.
I have not ever... I have
not... You didn't say the thing, but you said that you knew something that she did to her boyfriend that you could hold against her, that you weren't going to reveal at this time, that would make everyone in this house want her out the next day.
If that's the case, didn't you guys hold that in your back pocket and save it to use it against me? I mean, aren't you doing exactly what you're accusing me of doing?
No, because it wasn't a personal thing about her. It wasn't something that you've done to somebody outside this house.
Well, do you know what the personal thing is?
No, I don't.
Right, nor would I have ever said a word about it. So if I said that in a flippant moment, for 5 seconds, and that's what's going to send me out of the house, fine. I don't even remember saying that, honestly, but if you say I said it, maybe not. For all I know, your dad was sitting out on the patio when I was in the hot tub with her having that conversation. He could have overheard the conversation and just been waiting to use it against me. I mean, there's no way of sifting through it. All I can say is there's no way in hell that I would ever do anything. In fact, I was the one who sat Amber down and said, Amber, please stop, looking at people's whatevers and poking people's whatevers and this and that. You have someone you really care about back home. Don't do anything inside of the house to jeopardize that. If I was the dickhead I'm being painted out to be, I would have gone and repeated it to everyone. I didn't say a word. I mean, it's just tough to go out on a game move or whatever is one thing. To go out on personal things and personal things that are not true and not true to who I am and things that I would never do it's below the belt. And I don't believe you to be a below the belt person. Which is why I wanted to discuss it with you, because it is coming at your hands. And just like you're saying no one before me has, I mean, full well, I was never given a fair chance. I've not competed in one veto competition. I was never given a chance to stand up and defend myself. I was never asked, did you do these things, or what's your explanation for them? I was told I did them.
But at the same time, and I'm not... At the same time, the same thing happened with Nick last week. Except,
I know, but it's not Nick's revenge week.
But I'm not taking it to that, Eric. I asked Nick, and he told me the truth, but I didn't believe him because people were talking to me and convincing me that it wasn't the truth.
Then I guess
But that affects me, too. That affects me a lot in this game. And not just me. It affects Amber. It affects my dad. It affects everybody because it affects the way that they're thinking.
That's correct. And I guess the response to that is what I need to do when I leave here is pick up the phone and call Nick and tell him I know what it feels like and I'm sorry. Because just like you guys all thought that about Nick, and then when Nick left, it was, maybe not. It's going to be the same thing. Whether or not you guys choose to frame it that way or not, I'm telling you, and it makes no difference because we all know I'm in deep, deep trouble right now. When it's not me, it's just going to be someone else, and then it'll be on to blaming the next person. Just like it wasn't Nick, and it isn't me. So I can only tell you, if these were the mistakes that were made, then we all need to go back and look over history because history is just going to keep on repeating itself down the line until whoever's doing it, is picked off for another reason, or until whoever's doing it is left standing in the end. But, I honestly believe, and this is not to discredit anyone else in the house, that I came in here trying to really be real. And I'm a pretty obnoxious guy. I'm not disputing that for a moment. Some people find it funny, some people don't. I am sure that I rubbed people the wrong way with comments I made and things that I did. But at the same time, I stood up on day one and said, this is me, you can take it or leave it. I tried to get to know everyone in the house. And now I'm being left in shambles where I'm in a situation where what do I have left to show for this experience? No personal relationships with anyone here. Nothing good from a game standpoint. I mean, I have been dying to have an experience like this. And in the end, right now, it doesn't even feel like it's going to have been a positive experience, which I know it was. But, at the same time, because, I can't walk through the kitchen of my own house without being shouted at, insulted, stared at, or ignored entirely, And it's funny because to me, I'm one of the very last people in this house who deserves that. I have been kind and decent. Have I played the game? Yes. Have I ever disputed I was playing the game? No. We're all here for the same purpose. If people, you know, say game things, fine. But being blamed for personal things and things I never did, is just a low, crappy ass way to be treated. I mean,